Hi. This is our application, web application, whose name is WaveHr. It is basically application for the recruiters who basically can see the hiring process, and basically the purpose of this application is to simplify the hiring process. Or basically some candidates apply on the jobs through this platform, and we can manage the applicants very easily. So this is basically the dashboard of the application. This is basically the home page of the application, where we can see the link to the privacy policy, and we also have included the terms and conditions page in terms and conditions in the application. So if we continue with the application, we are basically integrating the sign in with Google in this application using the Firebase and OAuth client of the Google. So if we click on the get started for free, it basically allows the users to sign in with the application using the Google, and this is basically our application name, and it basically shows the consent screens to the user and allows the users to select account from multiple accounts that has already been logged in into the application. So if we continue with that account, we can see. So we are continuing with this account, and Google has not verified this application, and the status of the application is unverified. This is obvious, that's why we are making this video. So if we go to the WaveHr, it basically tells the user that this application is requiring some permissions, like WaveHR has already some access. These are the services that we are acquiring from the user. First one is the calendar service, which basically shows the scheduled interviews of the user on the calendar of our website, and send the interview invites to the user on their emails. We are basically getting the user's personal info, email address, and personal info and email addresses when the user is being signed in. So these are the permissions we are requiring. So if we continue with that application, we are basically signing it with the Google into the application. Yeah, this is basically the dashboard of the application, where it is basically pretty obvious that these are the companies that user has created, and these are the jobs under these companies. These are the messages in the DMs. These are the applicants that has applied for this job in that specific company, and these are the weekly applicants who has applied in that week. So these are the total summary, and these are the quick actions that user can perform, like post a job, view some messages, review the applications of the user, and scheduled interviews can be seen through these quick actions. So if we go to the companies, here are the companies that are basically actively hiring for the user. This company is basically that this is the profile of the company, and showing some basically information of the user, and these are the jobs under this company, under multiple companies. If we have multiple companies, then these jobs will be filtered out based on the companies. So these are like this is the job of that company, and if we see that, we are seeing that two applicants have applied for this job, and if we see the applicants, we can see that there are two applicants, and if we continue with that user, we can see that these are the user details. See, here are the application responses that user has submitted, and this is the resume that user has uploaded. So if we want to continue with that user, we can schedule a meeting with that interview. If we can schedule a meeting with that user, and we can add multiple attendees with that user, so that these multiple attendees can join the meeting with us. So we can select the date and time of the interview, so we can add the description, etc. So if we continue with the schedule, if we continue the scheduling, it basically send the email to that user that um, um, email that the interview has been scheduled on that date with this job description, etc. So here is the interview invite that we are getting from that user, and we open this interview invite, we have seen that this interview has been scheduled on this date by this attend by this recruiter. So this is basically the complete concept of the application. It basically allows the user to simplifying the hiring process. It basically invites the user to the application of the interview, and it basically reviews the application based on the AI, etc., and many more cool features like that. In the notification section, we can see that there are multiple notifications based on the jobs created by the user and who has applied for the jobs, etc., etc. And these are the messages we are basically initiating, and we are basically um, mm, continuing the chat with some other user, and if, these are basically the active chats. And for the interview scheduled interview section, we can see that the interviews are loading, and we can see that these are the interviews that we have scheduled for this date, and we are showing this to the user. That's why we are mm, requiring the calendar API. Basically, the purpose of calendar API is to get the information of the user from the calendar and to show this information on the website, so that the ease of the user becomes very prominent. Like user does not have to need user don't have need to go to the go to the Google and go to the calendars of the Google. User can see the scheduled interviews related to that job in this on our website directly. So these are the interview details. User has confirmed, recruiter has basically confirmed the event, but the attendee does not have basically does not have confirmed the event. So if we confirm that event, um, and if we go to this, and if we, yeah, basically the um, purpose of basically the purpose of this is to um, show that user is basically requiring some permissions of the calendar to see the details of the interview. And if we can see here that the attendee who has recently accepted the interview invite is marked as accepted, and this user is basically joining the interview. So this is the basic concept. And if we cancel the interview with that user, we can cancel this event, and basically cancelled email has been will be sent to that user, and the event will be dropped from the calendar. So if we go to the users console, users email, this you can see that we are seeing that user has cancelled the interview, and basically this interview this email has also been sent to the user. So these are the settings tabs where we are basically requiring some billing billing information, like starting time has these features and payment time has these features. And for the feedback of the users, we are also showing a um, we are also showing a form where user can add the feedback, upload some images of the bug or some other things, and can submit the feedback. So here, this is the basic interview and the complete interview of the application. And uh, this is basically the complete introduction to the application, and that's why we are requiring these permissions from that user. Okay, thank you.